Hello and welcome to 5 a Day with Jay. I'm your host, J.R. Murdoch. Thank you for joining me yet again. Vote. Vote. Make sure you get out there. Take care of that. Today, I wanted to talk about another book. I talked about V&A shipping the other day, talked a weird random medical story yesterday. If you skipped it, you skipped it. Today, I want to talk about Jack Kane and how this book came to be. This book is an interesting one because it's the only book I've ever written with a co-author. Actually, the two books in the series I've written with a co-author, Jack Kane and the Statue of Liberty, and the second book, Jack Kane and the Kaiser. The way this came about was a good friend of both of ours knew I had done V&A shipping, Billy Barbarian, other funnier books, and my co-author, Mike Plested, was doing Galaxy Billies and having fun with that one, which had an interesting humorous slant to it. The friend of ours, Dan the Art Man, recommended to the both of us, hey, why don't you two do something together? It might be funny. So Mike reached out to me, and it sounded like a fun idea. So we began to brainstorm, what should we write? And at the time, steampunk was alive and well, still is alive and well, but it was really coming to the forefront at that time. And we decided right off the bat, we have to do a steampunk story. We decided we wanted to do a superhero, steampunk, detective, young adult kind of novel. Young adult, not so much because the characters are all over 18, but we did get the steampunk superhero detective type of thing in there. The hero's name was Jack Kane, as a subtle reference to the creator of Batman, whose name is Bob Kane, one of the creators of Batman. And Jack just sounded like a fun name. Jack Kane, just tying it together. His cohort, Elizabeth Wilkins, is your typical parasol waving protectorate who takes care of Jack because Jack needs taken care of. Jack is an inept hero. And as Mike and I were developing this character in our heads, we knew he had to solve a mystery without solving the mystery. That had to be the key. He had to be going left when he should have been going right. And he had to be making mistakes along the way that just kind of helped him fumble his way into the path. Or others had to help and nudge him in the right direction. And that was sort of the catalyst for Betsy coming into the book. We had a lot of fun developing him, and I knew right off the bat, oh my gosh, I'm going to fight Mike because he's going to want to write Jack, and I want to write Jack. Then we began developing the villain, Felonius Fenduke Filcher IV, who was a British nationalist, who never really got over the fact that the United States won their independence from Britain. And his goal was to make sure the United States fell and was returned to the motherland, as it was rightfully so. Felonius is also a flawed character in many, many ways, as well as his two henchmen, Lenny and Squiggy. He is a hysterical villain with over-the-top tendencies. Both Jack and Felonius were also brilliant minds that developed and invented things in spectacular fashion. They were great at what they did. Mike knew, as much fun as Felonius sounded, he was going to have to fight me to write Felonius. So when we both were plotting the book out, I don't recall which one of us said, okay, we should alternate chapters. One write the hero, one write the villain. And I said, I want to write Jack. And Mike immediately said, oh, thank God, I want to write Felonius so bad. And that's what wound up happening. We wound up plotting out the entire first book through Google Docs and web meetings and just having a good time with it. And eventually we wound up writing the books, and the first book was released a few years ago, and the second book was actually released earlier this year. I will link both of them in the show notes. But that's a very quick story on how Jack Kane came to be. This has been 5 a Day with Jay. I have been J.R. Murdoch. For more about me, visit jrmurdoch.com or of gnomesanddoors.com. I'll see you tomorrow.